Hi there and good morning. This is Dave from the Happy House Farm. Just want to give you an update about our worm progress. We've been doing a lot of interesting stuff with worms, doing a lot of experimenting, a lot of playing, and we're using African night crawlers here, and it's great because it's nice and hot. It's not too hot, but it's a nice temperature. We're averaging around 32 degrees during the day. It's the winter here at the moment, so the average day is 29 to 30 degrees. So it's still pretty hot here. Let me give you a quick update. We've actually moved our worms from over in the actual big soil area, and we've actually started breeding them in something. There we go, in the something, in drums. So as you can see down here, we've actually moved it into the shady area. This is actually the nursery area here. So we've got a nice shade. So it sits around about 24-25 degrees Celsius, which is the ideal breeding temperature, approximately for African night wigglers. I'm going to move the lids off. I'm just going to pause for a second. I'm going to move these lids off and show you some of the stuff going on, and I'll explain a few things that we're doing. So the reason why we moved them into the drums over here was basically to improve the breeding. And we've been doing some interesting little experiments. One of the things is the food. We're blending the food now up in a blender. So all the fruits and all the vegetables that we have, eggshells and coffee, we're blending it all up into a big soup. So it gives water, which is good, and not too much water of course, but it gives the food in a way that the worms can actually eat it very, very fast. Now as you can see over here, I'll open one of these up and you'll have a peek. Now the worms will disappear quite quickly, but you can see that we're doing pretty good in here, and there's a lot of the big African night crawlers. Now these are mature night crawlers, and they're almost full length of about 10 inches. These are around 8 inches, and that's in the one layer. Now they love the cardboard, so always remember to put cardboard in here, and we've actually been using a paper from concrete. So washing it very well. They love that because it's quite hard, and as you can see they're all in there just breeding away, and you can see around the edges probably all the lovely vermicompost. So the worms are loving it in here. Now these are very mature in this particular bin, but as I go through all the different layers in here, the worms are different sizes, and at the bottom here, as you'll be able to see, is the actual feeding area. We keep the feeding area to one area you see over here, over on this side, and so the food is not spread, because the food tends to be a little acidic, and it's not good that you spread that through the bin. But as you can see in here, we've been using the bamboo leaves as a filler, and what we're doing now is managing the moisture control quite well, because the food is very wet. It's coming from a blender, and so we have a little pot here of dry cow poo. They love cow poo as a bedding mixture. Just dry, so we can mix that in with the leaves. And the bamboo leaves, there's tons of them here. So if you're in the Philippines or in Asia, the dry leaves like this, they just fall straight off our tree behind us. We've got a few, and away we go. So the different bins have actually got different ages of worms. Like the one here, down here, is a lot of baby worms. And on the other side, there's sort of a mixture. And there's not too much soil in here, but it's a mixture of soil and bedding, so cardboard layers with some soil with a lot of cow poo in the layers, but initially only put in the bottom of the bin probably a third full as a bedding, and then just fill it up as they actually eat away, and away they go. So I'm going to run over to the actual other compost area, which is actually our main worm bed, and we're using it as compost and actually for worm breeding and worm feeding, so that they're actually eating the compost, so they're acting as their diggers. So I'm going to run over here, and then I'll pause the video. So I'm ready. Are you ready? Whoa!